Welcome to remote course delivery. This is the basics of Blackboard and announcements we're going to cover today. So I'm just going to walk you through how to get into Blackboard, and we're going to talk about the course menu here. So if you're on the icc.edu webpage, go to Blackboard and log in. Oh. See, not all of us get logged in on the first try. When you get logged in, you're going to see on the right-hand side all the courses that you teach. If you'd like to organize this, over in the right-hand corner here, there's a little tool setting thing. Group it by term and hit submit. And that'll help to organize your courses by semester. I'm going to take you through a lot of mine are turned off because I'm not currently teaching any. Okay, so when you get into your course page, so this is Phy Ed 116, announcements is the homepage, and this will be your student homepage as well. So this is the default for students. This is a great communication tool. You want to use announcements to communicate with your students. The more you communicate, the better. A lot of your students may be uncomfortable with this as well. When you go to create an announcement, you're going to click here. You title your announcement. This will be the subject line. You are able to email your announcements out. So this is important for your students. I would even suggest in your subject line putting your course number or name, and then whatever you're talking about. If you're opening a unit, if you're opening a content folder, they're going to be getting quite a few emails. So it'll be nice for them to organize it. If you're teaching History 110, I'd put History 110 and then a short blurb. Down here, you can write your content. Just like you could anywhere else, you can copy and paste content that you already have. This is your email, what you're sending to your students. What do you want them to know? I wouldn't make it super long. You can organize if you have a lot of points you want them to use, I would suggest maybe using bullet points to organize that, because the reading can get kind of long. You can bold things if there's something that you really want them to take note of. So you have all that access right there. As you scroll down here, then you do not want it restricted or students can't see it. And see this here says email announcement. You can send a copy of the announcement immediately. If you would like to link something within your course, you can browse. It brings up the course and all the content that you've built in it. And if we're looking for whatever module or unit, when you click it, put it in here. It's going to create a link when it sends the email. Now, I'm not going to send an email because I don't have current students in there. But once you submit it, it sends an email to you as well and every user in the class. Here you see my newest announcement pops up at the top. Here's the course link. It'll take them right to week 7, module 5, whatever you're working on, and it'll open that. Okay? All right, let's go ahead. I wanted to walk through real quick. Well, not quick, but we're going to walk through the menu on the left-hand side here. We talked about announcements. I also use announcements to give class-wide feedback. So if I've been watching in a discussion board or I see something that people are submitting and I want all my students, I would talk about it in class to them. I would tell them, hey, this is what I see you're doing well. This is what we need to refocus on. Please go back and look at this. I would send that as an announcement. Anytime you're talking to all your students that you would be doing in a class, send it as an announcement so they get it as an email. They also know then that I've been looking at the discussion boards and that I'm chiming. Maybe I don't post in the discussions, but I've been reading them and I can see what they're talking about, and I'm letting them know that I'm present. Okay, so announcements are a very good communication tool. And a key to this will be communicating with your students. All right, course information on your navigation tool here, you want to put things they need to know for the whole semester. So I have like a schedule built, I have a syllabus, I have resources on how to function within the discussion board. My availability, it's important for you to tell them how they can get a hold of you, how often you're going to respond. Are you going to check in? I try to tell my students within 24 hours, I will get back to you Monday through Friday. I do usually check in on Saturday, but I usually take Sunday off. So that's up to you, and you want to encourage them to know how to get a hold of you and that you are going to be there and respond to them. That's important too. I also set up a discussion board here. When we talk more about discussion boards, ask the instructor. So if they have a question about the whole course in general, they can post in that discussion, and then the whole class can see it instead of me just answering it 20 times. So that would be another option, is you could set up an extra discussion board, put it in your course information, something about asking you questions or how to get a hold of you. Okay, the course content, back to the navigation tool here. Course content, this is the meat of the course, okay? So you've got your course content to set up in here. It'll show up blank. I set up my courses in modules. You can talk about them however you want, units, topics. Create a folder for each one so that you chunk the material for your students in one place. So they know, we're actually going to scroll down. I want to show you Module 5. They know September 15th through the 22nd, this is all the content they need. So within that folder, did you just see that? You have to actually click in that folder. So I've got all these folders, but I'm going to click and go into this folder. It takes me to a new screen. Here's everything they need for the week. Okay? I've built it so that there's a checklist. They know they need to read chapter 10. They know they need to take a chapter quiz. They need to post to a discussion, and they have an assignment they need to upload. All right? How do you build that content? Right here. Build content has some of the item is the number one thing you're probably want to go use. And I forgot to show you how to build a content folder. So let's go back one step. Here, let me show you up here in your menu bar. All right. So this will be blank too when you go into your course. Build content, create a content folder, name your folder unit or module, Module 5. I write very little on the content folder information. I just write the topic. For the week, you can add dates if you want. You submit it. It actually builds it at the bottom. So here's my new folder here. When you have multiple items, there is this arrow that shows up, and you can move your items to where you want it in order. But in order to put your lessons into that content folder, you actually click in there. I keep losing track of where I want to be. Module 5. So now we're ready to build content here. I want to show you what mine looks like first, and then I'll show you how to build the content. So you can add assignments. You can add quizzes. You could add links. You can add videos. Here's a discussion board. So my students are going to walk down this whole folder and have everything they need for the week within here. Anything that has an underline under it is a link that they can click on. Do you notice how the first one does not have a link? So that's just a text box. That's considered an item. But this one has an underline on it, so that's a chapter quiz. So if they click in there, they're going to go to the quiz and be able to access the quiz. This one here is a link. So if they click on it, it takes them to the website that I wanted them to look at. Same with the discussion board. Even though there is a discussion board in the navigation tool, I encourage my students to just click straight from here, go into the discussion, and post. Okay? So I gotta go back out this way because all right, so up here you have options. You can create an item. web link if you want to do your web link that way. Under assessments, you can click tests, surveys, assignments. That's how you would add those in. And under tools, here's your discussion board if you want to add a discussion board. Blogs and journals are also very common. I would stick with the basics to start though. Stick with what you really need to have your content work for the week. Okay, so research actually shows that if we put all of our stuff in one place, students do better at accessing everything. So they've gone through, and I add another step by adding in the checklist. They've gone through everything, they're done for the week, and then the next week they can open the next folder. I'll show you real quick how to add an item. Again, this looks a lot like an announcement page. When you add an item, this is what's going to be in bold, your name. But from here on your toolbar, you have a place where you can insert a file, you can insert images, you can embed media. In another lesson, they're going to show you how to add media to your Blackboard course. So I'm not going to go through that right now. There's another place here where you can browse your computer and add PDFs for the students as well. Okay, so on your default menu, we're going to get out of here. The last thing I want to show you real quick, up here in the top menu bar, do you see this little, it looks like a green dot with arrows? Enter student preview. When you have your content built and you want to see what your students are going to see, it will take away the facilitator's access to stuff and you can see what your students are going to see. Announcement page is going to pop up as their default. Here's their menu bar. It's shorter than our menu bar. The course information, which I showed you earlier, there's all the syllabus, and everything with a line under it is something they can click on. If not, it's just content showing them. There's attached files so they can see the schedule. Yep, back to the right screen. Okay, course content, let's go back into there. So in course content, I've built a module for each week that we need to go to. I list the chapter. We don't read our chapters in order. But for them, they have to click into it to access it. So one other thing, you're in student mood, I can't do any editing. So to get out of there, you hit this exit preview. Now you're back. You also want to make sure that your edit mode up here is on. There's a few times I've seen that off and you can't change anything. Anything that you want to change in Blackboard has a little drop down arrow here that gives you more options to edit, delete. Sometimes you can move it to a different place within your own Blackboard screen if you want. So on the menu bar, I'm not going to cover grades. There's another session doing grades. You can send an email straight from here. You have Blackboard help as well. I've added some additional ones for my courses on here that are not part of the navigation default. So just use the basics through Blackboard help. And that. Okay, one other thing I just wanted to say real quick is just be careful. Your students are new at this too, so you're going to really have to communicate with them. Use your announcements. Encourage them to email you if they're not sure how to get through that. And actually, the Blackboard Help for Students is a very helpful tool as well. If you go into Blackboard Help, you can put a topic up here, and it'll take you to how to build different things within, or how to use, or how to upload an assignment. Students often have trouble figuring that out the first time, like uploading an assignment, it will be a big one, which I can help walk you through later. But that's it for now. Good luck. You've got this.